God damn it! Fuck! I can't escape him. I can't escape him. A YouTube iceberg.
He's going home. She's staying here. Hulu's got favorites to match this strange year. Whatever you're watching, find joy in the season. Deck the halls, y'all. Kill the halls.
Greetings, dear viewers. Recently, I've been enjoying copious amounts of these iceberg videos that have been posted on YouTube recently. I think they're an interesting format, so why not take a crack at one of these with something I know a lot about besides Sonic, the very platform you're watching this on, YouTube. What lies in the site's history is a long 15 years full of major events, tragedy, cut features, and all manners of things that lie beneath the surface. So join me as we dive into the obscure aspects of YouTube as we examine this iceberg. For clarification, before we begin, this video is structured differently than how other videos may be structured. In this video, each section is meant to get gradually darker and more disturbing, rather than more obscure or whatnot. So you might recognize something in the last section, but could also not recognize something in the first section.
D&I doesn't just help us communicate with each other. It allows us to
Stars/lightsabers. For our first entry, why not tackle the most well-known feature about YouTube, its rating system. In the first few years of its life, YouTube used a 5-star rating system as the means for users to rate the quality of a YouTube video. However, this system was too complex and was then replaced by a better like-to-dislike system, which was way more straightforward in its rating, and the site even had a bar representing the ratio of likes to dislikes. Originally in 2010, this bar was separated by green, representing likes, and red, representing dislikes. Around 2011 or so, the red was changed to a gray color, and a year later in 2013, the green representing the likes was strangely changed to blue, which to this day is a design choice I've never been very happy about. The bar was changed in 2018 again to have a light gray to gray ratio. 301 plus views. Around the years of 2013-ish, whenever a new video would get a flood of views, the view counter would stop at a peculiar number of 301 plus. This was an interesting feature that many YouTube users saw, but not many know as to why it happened. As it turns out, YouTube used this number as a placeholder as the internal system counted and verified the views and made sure they weren't being impossible. Cut features. YouTube has had a number of cut features in its life. The one many people remember were YouTube annotations, which were little speech bubbles that creators could input into their videos. With these, you could either put a blurb of text, links to things such as other videos to subscribe to that channel, or other websites. As time progressed, however, YouTube began pushing these to the side as videos would have annotations turned off by default around 2014-ish. They remained in relative obscurity until January 15th of 2019, where YouTube completely axed the feature and replaced it with the more limited end cards. Inboxes were another feature YouTube once had, and it's like what it sounds like. Users could send private messages to each other in order to communicate. However, with there being other easier forms of communication, such as social media DMs or normal emails, YouTube axed the feature in 2019. A similar idea was introduced in 2013 as channels now had a discussion tab, which basically served the function of a comment section on a YouTube channel and was enabled by the generator. Sometime during its lifetime, the feature to have it hidden from a channel was introduced, and though the feature still technically exists on YouTube today, most channels have it hidden, and it's hidden by default on new channels. Before people had to put ::, before their response videos, people used to have the ability to post video responses to other videos. It was essentially like posting a comment that was a video itself, but the feature was removed in 2013. Me at the zoo. The very first YouTube video was titled Me at the Zoo, a video featuring one of the founders, Jawed Karim, at the zoo as he talks about how elephants have long trunks. Revolutionary. Started as a dating site. YouTube for the first few months of its life was actually a dating site. It was inspired by Hot or Not and had users post videos of themselves while others could rate them. The founders ditched this idea early, however, as they felt it was too limited and instead transformed it into a broader video sharing service. Google Plus. In 2013, the first big controversy hit YouTube as Google forced users to create an account for their dead-on-arrival social media platform, Google Plus. Users could no longer make comments on videos without having an account on Google Plus. This was universally panned by everyone on YouTube and caused a large uproar. It even spawned its own meme, the Bo3 Tank meme, which is a copy pasta of a stick figure having its own tank who is aiming to tear down Google+. Even one of the site's founders, Jawed Karim, spoke out against this change with a comment simply stating, "Why the fuck do I need a Google Plus account to comment on a video?" Creating a Google Plus account had a number of odd changes, the biggest of which was forcing users to use their real full name as their username in the comments, which was a change virtually everyone disliked. However, in 2015, YouTube dropped the requirement for users to create an account, as a Google account came bundled with the Google Plus as is. April Fool's features. YouTube has a knack for April Fool's jokes, and has introduced many in its lifetime. The first prank was in 2008, where every front page video redirected to the music video to Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. YouTube quite literally rickrolled their users. In 2009, the front page was flipped upside down. In 2011, YouTube temporarily introduced a feature that gave a video a grainy, older look and muted the audio and replaced it with Rhapsody Rag, in reference to old silent films. In 2016, YouTube introduced Snoopavision. You heard that right. You can now watch popular YouTube videos with the D-O-double-G himself, along with some pretty big YouTubers. This one stuck out to me and was one of the first entries I came up with for this iceberg, as it's just so perplexing yet funny at the same time. There's just something about companies hiring Snoop Dogg to appear in advertisements that I find endlessly intriguing. YouTube Heroes. YouTube Heroes was a feature Google planned to add to YouTube in 2016, as a measure to better police the site. The program essentially rewarded users for doing things ranging from adding subtitles to videos to reporting videos, and if a user did enough of this, they could unlock more powerful tools such as mass flagging videos. The teaser trailer was incredibly unpopular upon release and had one of the worst like-to-dislike ratios of any video on YouTube. The idea that YouTube could implement a system where users could police content themselves and report any YouTuber they wanted was frightening, and YouTube quickly dropped the idea. While the idea is long gone, it still remains as a joke among the community. Easter eggs. YouTube has, or at least used to have, a few Easter eggs of its own that users could find through the search function. Searching for Beam Me Up Scotty would have the results appear as if beamed into existence. Searching for Use the Force Loop would have the results jostle as if they were controlled by the Force. Searching for Do the Harlem Shake would make the YouTube logo perform the dance. If you type awesome on your keyboard while watching a YouTube video, the progress bar would go hypersonic mode, which hurts to look at. Searching for Doge has the text changed to multicolored Comic Sans. Unfortunately, with the new layout update from 2018, most of these Easter eggs don't work anymore.
Is the threat real? Yes, sir, we believe it is. I know you won't fail us.
Join Dua Lipa, J Balvin, YG, Demi Lovato, Karol G, YouTube creator, pop culture icons, and more to bring in the most highly anticipated new year in modern history. Exclusive performances, all-star guests. Hello 2021, hosted by Juan Bautista and Storm Reed. Set a reminder, New Year's Eve at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on YouTube.
Neutral Response. Neutral Response is the title of a Futurama clip uploaded to YouTube. It goes a little something like this.
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Though the video lives in relative obscurity, it's one of YouTube's landmark videos for one reason. That being the game that people have engaged in.
Let's go!
People have been keeping the ratio of likes to dislikes on this video balanced almost since the video was posted. Although it isn't as well known as Charlie Bit My Finger, it's still a staple part of the culture of this website. WebDriver Torso. WebDriver Torso is a YouTube channel created in 2013 that boasts some incredibly bizarre videos. Most of the videos include a red and blue rectangle and a tone. Every second or so, the size and shape of the rectangle would change, and the pitch of the tone changed as well. When people first discovered this channel, all types of questions were raised, with people theorizing what this channel's purpose was. Theories ranged from spy codes to it being connected to Cicada 301. However, the channel itself is actually run by Google, the company that owns YouTube.
Grab fresh ammo whenever you see an ammo crate. Last thing you want is to be in a fight with no bullets.
Videos to the original file. Username 666. This is one of those classic creepypastas from the early days. This creepypasta revolves around the idea that Satan himself has a YouTube channel that you can access by putting www.youtube.com/666 into the URL. Then, by refreshing the page a few times, you will see his channel page, with all sorts of unsettling imagery. But once you do that, there's no escape. One of the classic, the story itself is nothing more than a rehash of other creepypastas like Dead Bark, Suicide, where an unnamed employee at a company is told not to watch or do something, but they do it anyway in horrifying typing. Plus, it's basically just an American dub of a similar story that was based on a video account that the devil owns on Nico, a Japanese video sharing site. And plus, I mean, come on, it's not real. The first adpocalypse. The adpocalypse is an idea that many are familiar with, but not as many know the full story. The full adpocalypse of 2016 came when journalism sites such as the Wall Street Journal began to create hit pieces on YouTube and their ad policies. In particular, these journalists targeted PewDiePie for his somewhat controversial joke, as well as a video made by an unknown individual of former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, dancing to the song Alabama. After the publication of these articles, many advertisers pulled their ads from YouTube, and this controversy caused implementation of the demonetization system. H3H3 caused Leafy's termination. In 2020, the YouTube user Leafy is here had his channel wiped out in an instant. A conspiracy was formed around his termination. Prior to this, Leafy repeatedly watched the YouTuber H3H3 Productions, otherwise known as Ethan Klein, in his videos. Not only that, but there had been photographs taken of Ethan and his wife meeting the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, prior to Leafy's termination as well. With that and Leafy's rocky history with Ethan, people have theorized that Ethan, Hila, and Susan conspired to have Leafy's channel taken down. Whether it's true or not remains to be seen. Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. One of the contributing factors to YouTube's creation was that Josh Green, remember him, was unable to see the 2004 Super Bowl, and hence missed out on Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction that happened on national television. He couldn't find it anywhere online, and it served as the motivation for the creation of this website. Elsagate. Elsagate is a buzzword used to refer to controversial kids content that YouTube hosted during the mid-2010s. Channels would have videos targeted at a young demographic, but had objectionable themes such as overt toilet humor, sharp objects, blood, and even mild sexual themes. When YouTubers started covering this issue, YouTube mostly fell silent, until journalism sites started actually writing articles on these channels, did YouTube actually start to step in and take action. Sam Pepper. Sam Pepper is one of the most infamous YouTube channels of all time. He was known for his YouTube prank videos, a genre of content that became contentious after people began to criticize these videos and expose them as being fake. If that wasn't enough, he made some of the most racy pranks ever. The first of his most infamous pranks was one where Sam wore a sweatshirt with the sleeves tucked into a pocket, as he used his real hands to touch women inappropriately. The second was one where he made a fake prank where he had an actor go in disguise, kill Sam in front of his best friend, and then threaten to kill said friend afterwards. After these events, he has been nothing more than a mere has-been. Viacom lawsuit. In 2007, the large-scale media corporation Viacom filed a lawsuit against YouTube for copyright infringement, as many users of the platform uploaded Viacom's content to their website. The lawsuit could have meant the end of YouTube only 2 years into its lifetime, but the defense made a compelling argument thanks to legal technicality. YouTube won the court case along
You know how
with
your
every
senses
following
can trigger
appeal.
vivid memories?
However, the lawsuit
Make you
contributed
think of
to the
sounds,
creation of the
sights,
Content ID
words and
system,
songs.
which has been
Make you think of stuff
controversial
you
to
haven't
say
thought
the
of in
least.
years. D&I can make that a lot more visceral. Little glitches on your optics, little whispers in your ear.
500 internal server
Shit
errors.
happens.
This is an error that occurs when
Doctor
something
can
goes
straighten it
wrong
out.
with YouTube servers.
You just need to
The page you are
recalibrate your
greeted to
meds.
is one that states,
Trust me.
sorry, something
We're
went
gonna be
wrong.
fine.
A team of highly trained monkeys
now?
has been dispatched to deal
Oh, right
with
now?
this situation.
You're gonna
If you
interface
see
with that
them,
console.
send them this
As soon as you
information
plug
as
in,
text.
you'll be able to extract and
Screenshots
process
right,
the information in the
followed by
hardware.
a jumble of text. This error is so peculiar and odd, and it sticks in one's mind. And I've thought about it ever since I've gotten it for my first time. While I'm not confident enough to rule out the possibility of this team of monkeys existing, consider me skeptical. And that's what it is. /Adpocalypse 2. The second Adpocalypse came with an enigmatic overnight username of Matt's What It Is, better known under his real name Matt Watson, posted a video attempting to expose a rabbit hole on YouTube.
Yeah, it would've
Matt
been
showed
5
that people could
if you
search for
hadn't freaked out
videos
when you
that
saw
were
those
specifically
robots.
created by children wearing suspicious outfits, and due to the nature of YouTube's algorithm, users would naturally be recommended more and more of this content. However, Matt's lack of an understanding of how the YouTube algorithm functions and his deception of his audience led many to believe that YouTube was complacent in these happenings or were actively facilitating it. Matt Watson then went to livestream the progress of his new #YouTubeWakeUp campaign and pressured his audience to alert advertisers to what was going on, which caused them to withdraw their ads from the platform and caused creators to suffer. Matt Watson displayed a clear carelessness in the situation and a disregard of the lives of the creators he affected through his campaign, and single-handedly caused an entire ad conflict based on false information and deception. A video by Emp Lemon goes into more detail about the situation, and I recommend it if you want the full story. Blank Room Soup. This disturbing video features a man in a plain room eating a bowl of soup. A man in a character suit comes in to comfort him. The man begins to weep as another character begins comforting him. Another similar video is uploaded to YouTube later, this video being titled Soup Torture, and features the same man eating soup as the same characters watch from a distance. One of them suddenly moves towards the man before the video stops. The characters featured are actually characters created by Raymond Percy, characters he created for his Ray Ray series of short films. At least that's what I can gather. When he was questioned about the video, he said that during one of his live performances,
from this point on, the simulation
broke into his van and stole two costumes. Later, Percy was sent the Blank Room Soup.avi video. However, one person's word is not enough to go off of, and a lot of the story is still very much unclear. To this day, it's still one of the great mysteries of YouTube, and who knows if it'll ever be answered. Marina Joyce. In 2016, a mystery began forming around a girl
Move it! We can't lose him!
Fans of her channel began to notice a change in her behavior as she began to act unlike how she normally acts, appearing more on edge and nervous. This, as well as some disputable evidence, created the theory that Marina Joyce was either
You're gonna have to do better than that. Run it again.
Or was forced to create YouTube content by kidnappers. This puzzling situation spanned for much of the rest of the year until it came to light that the entire thing was an elaborate publicity stunt. I feel fantastic. I feel fantastic is the title of an odd video on YouTube.
You're losing him.
A robot android thing singing about how it feels fantastic, you feel fantastic, and how you are fantastic. It then sits some shots of the wilderness and then back to singing before the video ends.
You're gonna have to do better than that. Run it again.
Uncanny feel as the robot almost looks like a human, but its porcelain-like skin, the robotic movements, and the
sending his location to your HUD.
The robot featured is actually the work of a man named John.
Come on now.
And it's one of his projects. He actually wanted to create a robot that could sing and even play live events. The problem is, it isn't particularly good at singing, but at least it isn't the work of some serial killer or some other Indian theory. Shadowban. Much like other websites, YouTube has a habit of hiding certain YouTube channels from search results. This is called shadow banning.
Check your fire. Civilians are not targets. Move it. We can't lose him.
As they have their account and have all their standard features. But searching for their account is made much harder as their channel is typically suppressed.
I still have line of sight.
This can clearly be seen with many YouTubers such as Max Nolfo or iDubbbz, as their secondary channels typically show up as the first result rather than the
Our
channel
boy's
that
hacking the ZSF talents. What does that
This is
tell you?
something that YouTube has never outright mentioned as being part of the site, but is nonetheless something that can
He could only be controlling them if he's got a DNI too.
Christina
I'm
Grimm.
not sure of that.
Christina
You're
Grimm
smart
was
one,
an
New Blood. I'll
American
give you
singer
that.
who got
We
her
lose
start
him,
on
it's
YouTube
your
under
ass,
the
newbie.
username ZeldaXLove64. In 2016, she had her own performance at the
You're gonna
Taz
have to do
Live
better
in
than that.
Orlando,
Run it
Florida.
again.
This would sadly be her last performance. A man by the name of Kevin Roybal was obsessed with Ruby's work and had a tendency to rant and rave about it to his own co-workers.
Our
He
boy's
had planned to
hacking the
meet her and
ZSF
focus
talents.
her
What does that
romantic
tell you?
relationship with her.
He's running
He even
scared.
worked on his physique
Not sitting
in order
behind a
to better his
computer.
chances. His desires then
He could only
became
be
more
controlling
twisted
them if
as
he's
the
got a
Orlando
DNI
Sentinel
too.
described it as being,
You're
if I
smart
can't
one, New
have
Blood.
you,
I'll give you that.
then nobody else can. I'm going to
Son
possess
of a
you.
bitch is still moving.
Loible purchased a ticket to the event that gave him access to the backstage meet and greet. There, Grimmy embraced him with open arms, where he shot her. He committed suicide
Use
shortly
that
after.
billboard to get over the
This story
maglev train.
stands as one of the worst tragedies in YouTube history and serves as an example of what can go wrong when one gets the fate they desire. MMD/nude mods on YouTube. Despite YouTube having community guidelines that directly oppose this content, you can easily find videos of a decent 3D model, whether they be a Miku dance
He's heading
animation,
into Old
a
Zurich.
video
Move.
game,
All
or
right,
just
activating a new
something
cyber.
It's important to useful as both real-life video footage and 2D
embarrassing
animations
moment
make
of all
things
time.
easily get taken down.
Embarrassing.
Hi,
Killing
Walter.
somebody because you have
I
a
got a
crush
new
on them.
PS. This video opens with
This
a
is
man
why-
saying,
Your cyber abilities don't come for free. They take a little time to recharge. Keep an eye on your HUD. Mind your footing, that's a long way down.
Today, and states how he bought her some
What
gifts
I was
and
gonna say, man, you guys are fucking
the video then
retarded.
suddenly
Girl,
comes to
you
a
go to
dingy
hell.
basement
Girl, you
as
go to
men
hell,
open
yeah,
the
man.
door.
Fuck
He's
you.
gonna get away if you don't pick up the pace.
Tied up on the floor and cries out in terror. He then enters the room with the door behind him.
Moral of the
When the
story,
original video came
don't
out, it
have a
was
crush on a
startling,
girl,
strange
and
video
instead of
on
just
cover, and left
accepting
many
that she
questions
probably doesn't
surrounding
have the same
video.
feelings for you,
Some even tried to
don't
link the
kill
video
her.
to real life
Accept
girl,
that she
Take
don't love
them
you.
down.
thankfully it was just a
You
stage
don't love you.
shock.
Accept that. Don't hurt her. Don't fucking plan anything because the girl doesn't have a crush on you.
Austin Jones. Austin
In the end,
Jones was a musician.
you're done.
Don't lose him now, newbie.
Wow.
He gained a following after he began making covers of popular songs. And this coupled with his street boy looks naturally made his audience consist mostly of young girls. Behind the scenes, something much more sinister was going on. He casually messaged someone
I had faith in you
that
all
he came in
along.
contact with and instructed them to take some unsavory photographs of themselves.
Grab
Austin
him, New
made
Blood.
a video of himself demonstrating how to twerk and sent it to one of his underage fans. He was accused of this, but made a non-apology on his channel as he had manipulated his audience into thinking
You ain't gonna get a second
somehow
chance.
this worked,
Grab
but it
it.
wasn't long until things caught up to him, and he was
Now's your
arrested
chance.
on
Take him
possession
down.
of fucking
Bad.
Coward Dog League. On December 9th, 2017, a Twitter user by the name of Coward Dog made a tweet with a tweet
work
locker.
out.
I want to
The
fucking
tweet locker
die.
post
I
revealed
reckon our
how
suspect
he
has about
taken
15
contact
seconds
with
left
the
to wash
source
his hands
who
before
works at
later.
YouTube. This
I
source
just saw
revealed
that
some
shit
shocking
too.
information as they
Not
discussed
before
how
you get the
YouTube
information.
had a group of
I
individuals
don't think
come
he's
to the
in any
headquarters
condition to
and
talk.
manually rate
He doesn't
content
have
as
to.
either being right for
has
ads
a
or to be
DNI.
monetized. They
Oh
gave
my
them a
God.
set of guidelines to follow, some of which were reasonable while others felt draconian and
Very
incredibly
big layers
strict.
of security
Not only did
protocols
the
are
contact
subject.
talk
What the
about
fuck
this, but
is-
they mentioned how YouTube held a meeting with some big name creators to discuss what their site should do about what they deem to be undesirable YouTubers. Some names mentioned are Leafy is Here, Grady Undera, Keemstar, Scarce, and Onision. Despite this meeting, however, they were unable to reach a true conclusion and simply agreed that investigation should occur. If these leaks are true, it could redefine how we think about making our content going forward. That being said,
Oh,
these
talking about
leaks
fucking
are
heavy
fabricated,
everywhere.
so take them with a grain of salt.
I bet he has a
Oh,
hundred
come
people
on,
dead by now.
Funny man, Specialist
May
Peter
8th was a
Moretti.
YouTube user
He's
who
gonna help you
primarily
understand how
uploaded
much of a
YouTube
badass
clips to his
motherfucker
many
you are
channels.
now.
He was known
Remember,
for his chaotic behavior and
still don't have the
tendency
last
to
piece
get
of the
banned
puzzle.
time
How in
and
the hell
time
they got
again
the
on
explosives
YouTube
on
and
board the
YouTube.
train?
However,
I am ashamed of myself for watching that.
website on Christmas Day of 2009.
This is over?
We replaced the
That
thumbnails
Damon?
with several videos, including ones of popular
Dang,
YouTubers.
Damon,
As
what's
you know,
up?
one of the perks of being Black Ops is
Their
having
thumbnails
access to
will
the
be
latest
replaced with
experimental
singular
weapons.
random images. In
Firearms may
particular,
be your
the
go-to
thumbnails
choice
of
for
many
a weapon in a
YouTube
fight.
clips were changed to
But
the
with
image of
DNI,
a fake anime ghost.
your mind
The hack is the
truly
biggest
is your
one in
greatest weapon.
YouTube's history and could have
Let's do some
destructive
damage.
consequences that could have cost YouTube. Yet it was relatively innocuous. Despite how big the hack was, very few know of it, and the only reason I do is because of an MLM.
You got a new cyber ability to play with.
Webcam video.
Give it a
There
spin on
used
those
to be a
enemies ahead.
disturbing
Hello everybody, my name is TheMustacheGamer. Today I'm killing everybody. Enemies that aren't with my religion. Yeah, Christian. Yeah, fuck you all. Yeah, other enemies are mad at me. I don't know what I'm dead. Well, I'm about to get resurrected. Watch.
You got a new cyber ability to play with. Immolation. Give it a spin on those enemies ahead.
And when you try to search for a webcam video from today, it simply gives you a bunch of videos.
How the fuck who the fuck I is?
Christ. In 2019, tragedy
Christ Church.
as an example of the fire of a mosque in the city of
You'll like it.
Before his reign of terror, the man yelled out, "Subscribe to PewDiePie" before opening fire. In reference to the popular meme, rowdy. This small, big connection between the crime and the
Watch him burn. Hell yeah.
definitive connections between a crime of this nature and the website.
This is why I hate humanity. We're all fucked. Realize that? God is gonna fucking... We're all gonna be fucked because of that.
Lion Maker was a Minecraft YouTuber.
Keep it up.
Damn, this is why I don't play
Disturbingly,
Minecraft
Lion
anymore.
Maker was engaged in a relationship with one of his own fans, a girl by the name of Paige, who was 15 at the time.
That's fucked up, but I mean, actually dated me when she was 20 and I was 17, so I guess I can't.
Which she would send to Lion Maker. This was all unknown until Lion Maker himself posted these photos publicly on his Twitter, which got the
Yeah, you fucking stupid, fucking retard,
to this day, Lion
bitch.
Maker is one of the which is very
Yeah, we don't like you, man. I don't even like my fucking self. I don't do shit like that. And if I do on accident, and they kill me,
like your other
they're
voices
whoa, whoa,
do,
whoa,
you
whoa,
see like your
whoa,
loadout.
shit.
Using these systems to seize the
Don't
tactical
worry about
advantage
me.
of whatever's
I
the
ain't
opposition.
dumb.
Okay.
I like 18 plus. I like girls with actual titties. Sick. So this is
entire
why
channel was wiped out.
I'm fucking pissed.
Let them loose and see what they
Hey
can do.
motherfuckers, I'm gonna get some motherfucker on you.
Hell of a way to go.
And was potentially potential pressure from the Federal Bureau of Investigations as Monkey's content covering Roger.
More abilities.
Oh damn, the dating drama thing with the
As such, they wanted to
fucking hell. I had a dog brother caller and I have $4.
7 Awesome Kids was a YouTube channel primarily aimed at children. The channel featured 7 young girls as they were featured in the vlog-like content.
God damn
However, in a
it.
cruel twist, the man responsible for running the channel was actually engaged in illegal acts with the actresses of the channel. It was apparently so common that the girls would even joke about it, and it was much of an open secret. Thankfully, the man has been arrested and legally cannot work with children ever again.
Thank God.
Headquarters shooting. On April 3rd, 2018, a woman by the name of Nassim traveled 10 hours to the YouTube campus in San Francisco, California. On that day, she brought a 9mm pistol to the campus and opened fire, where she injured 3 before killing herself. Her motive for the attack was that she held a vendetta against the website itself, believing the website conspired against her and monetized content in order to hide her potential viewers. Though the incident itself wasn't as atrocious as it could have been, it's the worst tragedy YouTube has ever experienced firsthand, and it stands as the worst act of violence aimed towards the website to this day. It's the most sinister event in
Why?
history, which is why it permanently serves as a spot that we watch.
It's crazy.
And there you have the complete
Fucking
YouTube life.
crazy. Extra crazy with the
Make a
pieces
soldier out of you, Jack.
inside.
Writing and research. So I
And I
appreciate
seen that fucking court and that piece of that much fucking crazy ass fucking people. That's why I hate you, humanity. We're all fucked. We're going to hell. Fuck you all. That's my opinion. We're all fucked. We're all gonna go to hell because
they're using smoke grenades.
Now
Switching to your EV helps whenever you're blind,
dumb,
whether you're in the dark or in
dumb.
smoke.
Now I can't get that out my fucking head, and I'm gonna fucking just be shitty for the rest of the day because I had to see that with my own fucking eyes, and I didn't want to. No, I gotta go
Adjust
fucking
your optics.
take off.
They're delicious as they are. Chili and cheese.
We're clear. Deactivate your EV. How about that? Now you never have to worry about what you do in the dark.
And that's saying something because, like, we all fucking know what I just saw. Yeah, I fucking deserve people for that because I can't fucking stand that. I can't even get it out of my head. That makes me fucking so fucking frustrated that I have to fucking witness that. I'd rather see the fucking final coming of Christ than watch that again.
Party ain't over yet. Let's move.
What is wrong with you? You fucking...
I got Bosco in that rail car. Right up.
I got a fucking bar. Man, that is fucking... No, I got fucking confused as soon as they said, oh, I said, oh shit, no,
Taking the mechanic bay below.
Yeah, this was
Mario 64 is a game made by Nintendo that came out on the Nintendo 64. This was the first video game I ever played, and I had so many great memories playing it by myself or with the audience, or like my cousins, my brothers, or like friends. But recently, something a little strange has caught my eyes that I can't ignore. An image of an iceberg with layers depicting the depth of Mario 64 themes and knowledge has made its rounds on the internet. I never knew people thought this hard about the game. Real or fake, in this video, we'll be explaining every part of this iceberg as in-depth as I can.
Luigi!
So let's start at the very top with the fan favorite, a cult classic, Elvis Regal 2401. In the castle courtyard, there's a statue with a star on it in the middle of the fountain. There is text on the statue that people have long thought reads Elvis Regal 2401. There's also thought that the statue has Eternal Star written on it, which makes more sense. It's been rumored that the L stood for Luigi, implying that Luigi was in the game. But what did the 2004 07, why am I saying it like that? 2401 stand for? It was speculated that it was the amount of coins in the game, and after collecting all the coins, Luigi would appear at the fountain as a playable character. Sadly, this isn't true, because the scene here, both totals do not equal 2401. Secondly, Luigi was planned to be a playable character in the game as a second player during development. Unfortunately, the Nintendo 64 could not handle the sheer power of Luigi and had to be taken out of the game. There were plenty of videos online that baited people into believing that Luigi was real, but all of them were fake. Whoa! Wait, the theory is not over. It is not over. Hi, this is me during the editing process. Just recently, aka 24 years and 1 month after the Super Mario 64 release, a load of unused assets were just leaked onto the internet. Just, there you go. Just have them. Just take it all. This is astonishing. It's like the L is Real 2401 saga is over. It's finally finished. The biggest findings were beta assets for Luigi, cut worlds, and unused audio tracks for characters. I won't go into crazy detail, but if you want to see it discussed, I recommend watching Swanky Box's video after this one. The link to that video and many other Mario-related videos I will use will be in the description. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Womp's Fortress Tower 1-up. After beating the Womp King, a tower will appear at the top of the fortress. But of course, you already knew that. But if you run to the back of the tower and punch it, woo-woo, a 1-up. The Space World 95 beta. Super Mario 64 and the Nintendo 64 were both showcased at the Space World event. There's a lot of differences between this build of the game and the final build. Most of these differences can be summarized as visual, audio, and level layout.
任天堂飛び中よ。やっぱり最初のゲームは世界的スターのマリオだ。持った後滑り台になってますんで滑り始めます。
Oh my god.
すげえ。滑り台で驚いてちゃダメ。
My
その
god.
他にもマリオシリーズでおなじみの炎の世界や水の世界なんかもこんなに美しいグラフィックになっちゃうんだ。
Parallel universes. Now this one is
It's in 1995.
These are collisions for objects outside of the playable level. I don't understand
I wasn't even existing there. I thought it was even in the sack.
And coordinates.
My dad.
Oh my god, what is this? I'm going to need to research. Alright, I've researched.
I thought I was even swimming back then.
What I do know
wasn't even
is that you
fucking
can't
thought
get
of
these parallel
during that time,
universes
but-
without
Happy
utilizing
your birthday game of 2017.
or use a game shop or whatever the fuck you're using these days. In theory, you can find these universes either vertically or horizontally away from the main level at like certain points. There's also a lot of
I hate myself.
where
Really
these
hate
parallel
myself.
universes occur in a level, and some enemies and NPCs can even function in these areas. Oh, and each parallel universe is a slightly imperfect version of the actual playable level, and they're
I
all
hate
invisible.
myself.
Bomb on Battlefield Bridge hanging. Under this bridge, on this level, you can grab onto it and hang. Ain't that neat? The impossible coin slash Goomba. There's a coin in Tiny Huge Island trapped under geometry that you can't get through normal play. I assume Nintendo just forgot about the coin and left it. Also, there's just a Goomba that dies. It spawns off the platform. Why does this happen? It's most likely a
Hey,
spawn.
what the fuck you doing, dumb bitch? You got you,
Lives
dumb
to
bitch.
die. Half A press. This is a German tech created by the user Panon Koik. How do you say it?
Hey, go to each one.
That allows Mario to gain additional power by pressing the buttons down the air.
Russian
Oh, but you also have to be holding down the button right after
I don't know.
I've used
Good
this
bullshit next.
throughout this
What's
video
a good
already,
bullshit
so go check his channel out after this video for more Mario 64 game knowledge.
Oh,
Well, that's about
Perhaps I can get better flavor next time. Rubber, sandpaper, in ideal world, moss.
I can't even think, man. My fucking brain hurts. My brain just hurts. My brain fucking hurts, man. My brain fucking rotten, man. Zombies, 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 zombies. Come here, zombies. I want to kill you. No, I don't. Fuck you, zombies. I don't like you. What is this? L-car? Yeah, I want the L-car. L-car rule. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm scared now. My heart hurts. Why would you want to get from them when you went, I don't fucking know. My brain hurts, man. Hey, what you guys doing here? Trying to break out? Well, you can. Oh, you dumbass. What the fuck was that? What? My brain fucking hurts. You thought that was scary? I thought I'd come in the motherfucking way. Hello, red guy gonna be you dead. You dead.
I do not know whose side I'm on. But unless you fight for the glory of Mother Russia, I would strongly suggest that you leave my city.
Alright, cool.
We better concentrate on getting to other Nikolai before he ends up as
Big Ooze unused text.
That's right.
I assume this text was supposed to be used by
Hello,
people at some
motherfucker.
stage of the game. The text suggests that there might have been a chase sequence or a hunt to find King as he wants to. Don't become his lunch. In the Hazy Maze Cave, we meet Dory, the Loch Ness Monster. I'm not gonna lie, she's straight up thugging it. Anyway, there's this sign here that warns you not to become Dory's lunch. It's kind of spooky, right? Especially if you're a little kid. And I think that's why it's in the game. To spook you into thinking that there's a big scary monster waiting for you. But it's Dory! She can't even hurt you! Oh yes. But big duh. In the first Bomb-On Battlefield level, your task is to take out King Bob-On at the top of the mountain. After doing so, you're able to toggle King Bob-On who will refer to the king as nothing but a big dead man. Head to the pit area where the balls roll, and you'll find that there are now 3 balls instead of 2 balls. Could the pink fruits be insinuating that the king was turned into a ball to roll forever and infinity? Yeah, probably. This is posted on a sign in Pitch's castle. What does this mean? Well, nobody knows. It was probably something left in the game during development, and I reckon it was left intentionally. Peach might just like her castle too quiet. Peach can suck my ass. I'm making big boy noise. Unagi's tunnel. In the Jolly Roger there's an eel called Unagi. Wave to the eel, say hi. Hey, he's friendly, I swear.
Mario zombie
just chills out in the tunnel covered up in vines. People have wondered if the tunnel leads anywhere, but nah, it doesn't do anything. It's just there. The yellow cap switch. There's an unused yellow switch in the game's code. It could have been used to create yellow boxes, or maybe give Mario a new cap power, but we'll never know. Gold medal. This is a play on words found in the Big Boo's Haunt level. There's mystery surrounding the medal, because players thought it was an actual collectible. Not much to it really. The mirror room. On the 3rd floor of Peach's castle, you can find this random room with a giant mirror. Apparently, there were a few anomalies in the mirror that don't match up with the real world. Oh shit! This has led people to think that you can pass through the mirror, or the mirror is a playable level. Apparently, it's actually not a mirror at all.
Let's get the fuck out of me. I heard thunder. I heard like stomping.
And the way
I got scared.
by reflecting Mario,
I know I'm getting scared. I'm a pussy.
Mario and like behind it. You can tell that this is the case because if you're far enough away from the camera, Mario goes low res to save on memory. The Mario in the mirror also goes low res. So if you notice any anomalies, then it's probably because the developers forgot to add them to the other side of the mirror. Yoshi Saddle. Yoshi hasn't settled in the Oh yeah, spoilers, but Yoshi appears once you collect the $120. Sorry, not sorry, the game is like 20 years old. Anyway, he has a saddle, also his saddle rim is discolored when compared to his saddle.
Hey, I'm here.
I finally
I'll
be honest, I never knew that saddle. I always just thought it was a weird something. Jolly Roger Bay vanishing point. In this level during the first star, there's a thick layer of fog surrounding the level. The skybox is a sickly looking green too. Once the star is collected, the fog disappears permanently and the sky turns grey. This can't be undone either. The only way to see this fog again is to make a save file. Why does this happen? I have no idea and I couldn't find anything. Maybe the power cell you collect has enough power to lift the fog. Maybe it was just coded to do like that. Who knows? Nick's story. This is a cut feature from the game that would have allowed you to throw the rabbit from the years. I'd like to imagine that you could have thrown myths to different platforms in the castle, or maybe you could have thrown them into a painting. Broken paintings. Throughout the upper areas of the castle, there are some paintings you can't jump into. As a result, some players have thought they're broken paintings. I reckon that Nintendo was just being resourceful and just used duplicate paintings around the castle. Although, it definitely tricked myself and every other player in the game into thinking we could jump into it. So maybe it was intentional. Womp King turns into the castle. After being the Womp King for most the tower is erected where he once stood. We already talked about this before, where if you punch it, you get that one-up. Anyway, it's implied that he was used to create the tower. Womps have voice paid his taste for being used as building materials, so it's pretty damn ironic. A secret aquarium. In the room with the Jolly Roger Bay level painting, there is a secret aquarium left open a hole in the wall. As a kid, finding this out by accident freaked me out so much. Going through the hole puts you into an underwater level you can't escape, and you have to be collecting points to be able to keep Mario from drowning. The only way to leave the level is obviously if you pause and quit, or if you turn off your console, or if you collect a star. My little boy brain couldn't fathom that. I panicked and I turned off the game. I eventually beat the level after figuring out what was up, but still, a little too spooky for me. Dancing flowers. There's an unused flower texture that can be found in the Lethal Lava Land Assets folder. I find this interesting because does this mean that there would have been a way to bring back the lava flowers? There's still a chance. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Yes! Fuck! In the level used as decoration at this start. That's it.
Oh shit, man! Take me money and bring it to
Yoshi looking thing, and a bullet bill, probably.
Gosh dang it, as I like to say.
Maybe it represents
Because that's exactly what happened to me. Gosh darn. Indeed I did, indeed I did, indeed I did. Gosh darn me, man. Gosh really darn me.
gun,
Gosh
Line
darn
of Sand,
me good.
Dragon Quest block,
Gosh darn me
Sword.
darn gone.
Okay,
You got a ray gun, you lucky
fire
motherfucker.
When Mario is lit on fire, smoke comes out of his ass, and he screams in sheer pain and agony. Turns out, this smoke texture is bugged. It doesn't even display correctly.
Man.
It's meant to look like this, but it
I
looks
hate
like
this fucking
Hazy
game.
Maze Cave alcoves. There are a few alcoves in the maze.
Okay, you get a
Either
fucking
there
ray gun
to
to
give the
fucking
player
look
a
here.
rest from stink-ass gas in the maze.
I give up.
That's it.
I'm
Jolly
fucking
Roger
lost.
Baseball. There's a box in this level that just slides to the left, boom, boom, slides to the right, boom, boom, crisscross. This is all over this ship. I'm sorry. This box has some really weird physics to it. Sometimes it'll bump into you, but sometimes it'll absolutely obliterate your existence like you're an insignificant worm. Like, what the fuck is this? Now this is where my knowledge of the game ends, which is going to go deeper and creepier.
You guys fucking deal with them. I'm not doing this. I'm wasting my fucking time. I'm giving up. I kill myself. I'm dead, man. I'm dead. Who cares?
Wet Dry World Skybox. The skybox in this level looks a lot like a real place. Well, it turns out that it actually is. Specifically, a town called Casares in Andalusia, Spain. This brings me to my next topic. Skybox is a photograph. Because of the Wet Dry World Skybox, it's been thought that every skybox in the game is a photo. Thanks to Boostcaster, we can have a pretty good look at every skybox. And oh boy, the first few levels, yeah, they have some bright colors, some nice skyboxes with clouds, but as we keep looking, things get creepier and more disturbing. If these are actual photos, then what is this? Where is that? I'm sure that these photos are all just highly edited, but it makes you think. True locations of painting worlds. Because most of the levels are accessed through paintings, it begs the question, where are the levels located in the Mario universe? I don't think that there are worlds contained in the actual paintings, but let's say that hypothetically, this is the case. So why can't we enter other duplicate paintings? Maybe they're failed experiments in making painting worlds. But I do think that the paintings are a portal to the actual world, but we don't know where that world is located. If you look at Super Mario Sunshine, each portal takes you to an area in the game that you can pinpoint the location of. So I think it works like that in Super Mario 64, except the levels aren't seen from Peach's castle, or they're not seen from like an overworld view. It makes sense, right? I mean, if hardware issues resulted in Luigi being scrapped from the game, then how would Nintendo have made the level seeable from the castle? They could have used skyboxes, but who knows? On to dirt texture. Apparently there's a face that can be found in one of these dirt textures. I can sort of see it, but not really. I mean, it's weird. I used to be able to see it, but now I can't. Let me know if any of you see it. Secret Slide Dimensional Rift. I've looked everywhere to figure out what this means, but I think it suggests that the slide is way too big to be inside Peach's castle. So, where is it? The slide is dark and looks like it's stuck in a void. Just like the paintings, entering the level might just take you to another place in the Mario universe, rather than just being behind or inside the castle. But you do access it by jumping through a window, so, I don't know, cold crevice. There's a sign in Cool Mountain that gives warning to the cold crevice below. This is probably just a play on words or something like that, because, you know, Cool Mountain, cold crevice, so it sounds the same. And, you know, if we go down there, it's, yep. Original resolution textures. It's been long thought that the textures in Super Mario 64 were originally much larger, but had to be sized down to work on the Nintendo 64 due to how blurry they are. What would the original textures look like? Rainbow Ride's Village. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, a village on the Rainbow Ride stage can be seen in the distance. Well, where is this village in Mario 64? It's not there. Very strange. Bob-omb Village. I have no idea what this is referring to. It could be a few things. It might be this joke page explaining about following a child of the Bob-omb King, which can lead you to the Bob-omb Village, where you are trapped forever. It could be the spooky image here, although this is a fan-made photo. It's most likely this image of a Mexican bloke chilling with some bob-ombs and trees. This might be an early build of the game, but I don't know. But, you know, damn, I just want to play this. I want to play this game. How Bowser got into the castle with his son. There's a theory that Bowser got into Peach's castle and kidnapped her by taking a submarine to Dia Docks, going through a hole and ending up outside the castle. If this is the case, then the world where the game is set has levels not too close to each other, but not too far either. This is shit. There was a plan to have 32 courses in the game,